Good morning, children. Yesterday we studied about motion of charge in magnetic field when the motion is perpendicular to it, as well as when motion is not perpendicular to magnetic field. So now today what we will be studying, our next topic will be as you can see, motion in combined electric and magnetic field. So what we will be having here, we will be having both magnetic field as well as electric field, right? And the direction of electric field and magnetic field will be in such a way that they will be perpendicular to each other. So whenever electric field and magnetic field remain perpendicular to each other, they are said to be crossed. That means crossed electric field and magnetic field means that the electric field and magnetic field both are in a direction, so that both are in perpendicular direction. This you can say. If electric field and magnetic field are crossed to each other, that means they both are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so now here what you can see, there is a figure given and the three directions are represented with the three axes: x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Here you can see B means magnetic field. Magnetic field we have taken along z-axis and electric field we have taken along y-axis. X and y, z and y, these two axes are perpendicular to each other. So we can say magnetic field as well as electric field are perpendicular to each other, right? Now the motion of charge, initially the motion of charge which is represented by velocity vector. You can see velocity vector is along x-axis. This was the initial condition when the charge was entering into the crossed electric and magnetic field. When the charge was entering in the crossed electric and magnetic field, at that time the direction of motion was along x-axis, as you can see represented by v vector here. Now this electric field here, at the origin you can consider charge, positive charge. This electric field, as it is in y-axis, as it is along y-axis, so this electric field will apply some force on charge, that will be Fe, and Fe will also be in the same direction. This magnetic field which was along z-axis, it will also apply a force on this charge, right? And in which direction? In a direction along minus y-axis, which you can see here in the downward direction we have represented. So to understand this, let us come here. Here I have shown all the directions as well as all the forces which I explained you just now. You can see magnetic field is along z-axis, therefore we can write it like B vector is equal to B k cap. K cap is the unit vector along z-axis and B is the magnitude of B vector, that means magnetic field. In the same way we represented electric field and the motion of charge also. Motion of charge was along x-axis, that's why you can see here I cap. Electric field, here we wrote J cap because electric field is along y-axis. Now after this, you know, as we studied that electric force will be experienced by charge due to electric field, and that is given by Fe is equals to QE vector. After replacing E vector, we got QE J cap. Okay. After this, there will be some force due to magnetic field. The force due to magnetic field is given by QV cross B. Let us put all the values here, the value of V vector as well as B vector. From here we can write both the values. After writing all the values, the magnitudes we can take together as we have taken here, QVB, and there will be cross product of I and K cap. The cross product of I cross K will give you minus J cap. How we got this? These all things we studied about cross product in 11th class. very in a very detailed study. We have seen all these unit vectors in 11th class, so we will not be going to repeat it here again. After this, you can see FB we got ultimately equal to minus QVB J cap. Then in the previous classes you studied about Lorentz force. Lorentz force means the force which will be exerted by electric field as well as magnetic field. Since here both are present, so due to both there will be some force experienced by the charge. Fe and Fb, both the values we have written here, their values. After writing, what we can say, ultimately we can come to this result. Q and J cap, these things are common. After taking common inside bracket, we will have E minus Vb. Then this is the ultimate force which will be exerted by electric field as well as magnetic field together. Okay. After this, what we can say, we can have a question in our mind, in which condition, what is question? In which condition the force acting on this charged particle which is placed in crossed electric and magnetic field will be zero. What could be that case? In the figure I have shown you before this question, in the figure I have shown you that FB will be acting along minus y axis, right? How I said this? I said this on the basis of this formula. On the basis of this formula for FB. In this formula you can see I was getting minus as well as J cap. So minus and J cap I was getting. Because of this I could say that FB will be acting along minus y axis. That's why I have shown it here. Also you can predict the direction with the help of cross product. As you know that the cross product, the direction of cross product will be given by right hand thumb rule. If you take your right hand and start curling your fingers from first vector towards second vector, then whatever direction your thumb will be, the same direction will be the direction of the cross product, or you can say this force. After this, let us come back to question again. So our question was, in which condition we can say that this force will be equal to 0 on a charge which is placed in crossed electric and magnetic field. So that case could be when Fe will be equal to Fb, means magnitude of electric force will be equal to magnitude of magnetic force. Why I am saying like this? Because in the figure if you will see, Fe is acting in upward direction, that means positive y axis, and Fb is acting along negative y axis. Because the directions are opposite, so we can say if their magnitudes will be equal to each other, then the resultant force will be equal to 0. So the same fact we used here. This was the net force which we got. I have taken the magnitude of this force and kept the magnitude equal to 0. Reason? Because Fe I have taken equal to Fb, right? In that case I will get 0. After putting 0, I will get two things. One is from here, from this equation, first condition, what can I say? Either Q will be equal to 0 or E minus Vb. E minus Vb will be equal to 0. Because Q cannot be equal to 0, Q has to be there on which the force is applied. So which condition we will take? This condition we will take, and we will find out a relationship like we got here. We got V is equal to E upon B. That means when the velocity of charged particle will be equal to the ratio of magnitude of electric field and magnetic field to the magnetic field, in that case you can say that Fe will be equal to Fb or you can say net force on the charged particle will be equal to 0. Now let us try to see what will be the effect of this. Like if net force will be equal to 0, then how will it contribute to the motion of charged particle? So I made these axes once again so that you can understand easily. You have seen electric force was working in positive y direction and magnetic force was working in negative y direction. Since this case we are taking when both of them will be equal to each other, in that case what you can say? In that case you can say that this force will cancel this Fb force and the motion of charged particle will be purely along x-axis, because the effect of these two forces will neglect each other, will cancel each other. Then the direction in which initially the charge was entering in the crossed electric and magnetic field, in the same direction it will continue to move, because Fe is equals to Fb. Let us now take the case when Fb is greater than Fe is greater than Fb. Now again let us understand, Fe was acting in upward direction, Fb was acting in downward direction. If in this case Fe is stronger than Fb, in that case, due to upward force and due to the motion of charged particle, initial motion of charged particle, the charge will acquire this type of path, a curve it will follow along, not along, we can say in the xy plane, we can say this is your xy plane. So in the xy plane the charge will follow a curved path. I hope you understood all these facts. So after this, let us try to understand the third scenario. In this case, we are taking that Fb is greater than Fe. That means here Fb, this force is stronger and the motion of charge is along x-axis. Then because of these two, the charged particle will follow a curved path like this, like I have shown with the red ink. And this motion will be in which plane? See, this is minus y-axis, this is x-axis. So this motion will be occurring in xy plane. But which xy plane? You could call it a plane carrying x-axis and minus y-axis, like this you can say. Okay, so I hope you understood the motion of charged particle, like how the particle will be doing motion, and in which case we will be getting force equal to 0. We will be getting force equal to 0 when this Fe will be equal to Fb. Exactly after that the force will be equal to 0, not in any other case. Okay, so this was our topic. Only one topic we have taken today. After this we will be taking some numericals. So let us see what are we have few numericals here with us. Like you can see, first question is a straight wire of mass 200 gram. So what is given to you? You are given mass is given 200 gram and length 1.5 meter. Length is 1.5 meter. Carries a current of 2 ampere. Current is 2 ampere. Okay. It is suspended in mid-air. That means the wire is in air by a uniform horizontal magnetic field. After this we have to calculate what is the magnitude of magnetic field. We have to calculate the magnitude of this magnetic field which is holding this wire in the mid-air. Mid-air means just in the air, nothing is there below that wire which can hold it there in that position. So what scenario we have? We have a wire, and this wire is in the mid air. Now if it is if magnetic field is able to hold it in fixed position, that means in rest, then how is it possible? Let us see. This wire will go in downward direction due to its weight, and if this weight, this force will be balanced by any other force, then only we can say that this wire will be in rest, will be in the mid air position, suspended position. So in the upward direction, due to what we can this wire can experience force. In this region there was some magnetic field, and this wire is also carrying some current. So we studied that there will be some force on a current carrying conductor which is placed in magnetic field. So that magnetic field will apply force in the upward direction. This magnetic field force, that means FB, will become equal to mg, and in that case only the wire will suspend in the mid air. Okay, now let us calculate answer of this question. FB will be ILB sin theta. IL cross B is equals to mg. From here we have to find out B. B will be equal to mg upon IL sin theta. Now what is theta? It is the angle between the direction of L. Direction of L is like this, and magnetic field you can see perpendicular to plane going inward, that means 90 degree. Since angle is 90 degree, I can write sin 90. Sin 90 will give us 1, and the formula will be B is equals to mg upon IL. Now m, it is already given, but it is given in gram. You have to convert it into kilogram first. How can you convert? You can write 200 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg. Right? After that, the value of G. The value of G, it is very known. It is 10 meter per second square. I is given in the question, and the value of L, it is also given in the question. So after keeping all the values, you can find out the answer of this numerical. I hope you all understood. Let us take another example. This question is, what is the radius of the path of an electron? So what we have to calculate? Radius. The scenario is there is an electron. Its mass is given and charge is given. Moving at a speed. Speed is given. Speed is 3 into 10 to the power 7 meter per second. In a magnetic field of, magnetic field is also given, 6 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. Perpendicular to it. Magnetic field is perpendicular to the previous quantity, which is speed. That means theta is 90 degree. Correct. What is its frequency? Frequency they are asking. Frequency is denoted by nu. So we will calculate frequency. Frequency is equals to 1 upon time period. So let us calculate time period. If we could calculate time period, we will find out frequency, right? So what will be the time period? First you see, this question is based on which topic, then only you could identify which formula is to be applied. Radius of path, that means of an electron moving at some speed in magnetic field. So this is the question based on charge which is in motion in magnetic field, and this case is when the motion is perpendicular to the magnetic field. So we understood that we can apply which formula? We can apply R is equals to mv upon qb. This formula we can apply. Now you see the values. M, this m will be the mass of electron. It is given in the question, 9 into 10 to the power minus 31. After that, v, velocity. velocity is also given in the question. Charge of electron, it was shown here 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Magnetic field is also given here. That means you can calculate radius very easily. Radius we have seen how to calculate. Now see time period so as to calculate frequency. Time period formula is 2 pi m upon qb. This is the formula. That means frequency will be qb upon 2 pi m. Q and b, both the things we know. Now children, you have to see what situation you have, in which situation you are. You could use this formula, and you could also use this formula 2 pi r upon v. If you will use this formula, then also you can find out, because radius you would have found and velocity is given to you already. So you can use this formula as well as this formula, whichever you found easier. After that, to find out frequency, you do reciprocal and you can find out answer. Because it is frequency, so the answer will come in hertz. Answer will come in hertz. After this, one more question we have. This question you have to do in homework. You have to do this question in homework, and I will reveal the name of the students who will find out the correct answer of this question. And what you have to do, this question which you will solve at home, you have to send me its solution personally. Okay, and then I will reveal the name of students who will give the correct answer in the next video. So in this video I am taking these things only. So you do your questions, the numericals which I told, their answers you find out. I told you the way how you can do these type of questions, and in what way questions can come. After that, third question I had given you in homework. So you do this question and send me your answers on my personal number. So thank you very much.